Welcome to Break Everything. Your host, Lisa L. Levy, will guide you through critical thought conversations and a journey of directed disruption that makes a difference. Experience bold conversations with industry leaders who are willing to challenge the status quo.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Break Everything in Healthcare. I am so excited today to have a slightly different voice joining me. Shiri Gabriel is a businesswoman. She's a professor. She's a real estate investor. And yes, she's starting to do something that is unique and disruptive in the healthcare space. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to introduce her to you and welcome her to our conversation.
Hello, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me here. So
Shiri,
fun, and what a pleasure to be here with you.
I am so glad that you're here. I am so excited for you to share a little bit about yourself, right? Tell your story to the audience. So much more fun than me reading your bio. But take us through your journey, how it is that who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how you ended up playing in the healthcare space.
Great. So I live here in Toronto now, but my background is I lived in Peru. That's where I grew up I grew up at Israel. That's where I spent my high school. I graduated as a lieutenant from the Army. And then I came here to Toronto, Canada. I've been here for almost 30 years. Who would have thought? And I like to call myself a wife of one and a mother of four. My background is marketing. I come from corporate, like many people. I spent the last 10 years in corporate with Coca-Cola as a marketing executive. And I decided to leave that world mainly because I actually wanted to bring myself home, be present for my children, for my family. And that's when my journey as an entrepreneur started, where I started as a consultant, as a life coach, as a career coach. I then became a professor, started to teach in different colleges here in Canada, started my business in real estate as an investor. And then I just wanted more of that residual, that passive income, collect rent, work less, and make more, those concepts that when you're in corporate, nobody teaches you. And that's when I actually started with a few businesses, one of them with the direct sales company that I'm with today, ACN. And ACN being a progressive company and the world's largest direct seller of services, recently decided to get into the healthcare service, which makes complete sense, knowing ACN, knowing where the economy and the marketplace is going. And with it being a company that is there to really help people, not just save on services and bills, but provide different options. And so healthcare, health share in particular, was just a great fit. So that's how I found myself in the last year in the world of healthcare, and very passionate about it, as you know, Lisa.
Absolutely. So not everybody is familiar with the idea of health share. Would you explain a little bit about what that is?
Absolutely. So health share, I call it the best kept secret in the US. So what it is, think of it, first of all, it's a decentralized model of healthcare. That's what it is. It's not an insurance company, an insurance model, but rather it's, think of it this way, people putting money into this pool by paying their plan, and then decentralize. Why? Because my money helps you and your money helps me. That's one. Number two, I have access to how my money is being used and who is my money helping. And that's a beautiful thing. It is nonprofit, so the cost is relatively low, much lower than insurance companies. But that's the idea of it's similar to a cooperative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody's money is helping everybody else.
It's very disruptive in the US space to think of healthcare and cooperative in the same thought. So with this new role, what's the best part about what you're doing?
Yes, so disruptive, personally love it. So the fact that I'm being disruptive, that's what I'm here. I'm here with you. Listen, we connected because we both love to disrupt. And that's what I do since I was a little kid. I've disrupted everything and everyone. So it is disruptive. It is going to be the biggest decentralization of healthcare in the US that we've ever seen. This is the beginning of it, where people are going to have more choices, better choices. Most importantly, what this is doing is providing people with access to both affordable and quality healthcare. Because you can have right now affordable but not quality, or you
Mhm.
quality but definitely not affordable. Through health share, you get both.
That's absolutely fabulous. And for people listening, right, affordable and quality in healthcare never go together. And so that is it is disruptive, and it is absolutely impactful. And on that idea of impact, really, what is that impact that you're trying to make in the world?
Oh, that's a big question, and we're going to try to bring it back to healthcare specifically, because the impact that I want to have in the world is much bigger than that. My purpose in life, to be very very clear, is to impact everybody who I touch positively, to make sure that everybody wins, that everybody has emotional freedom. That to me is the most important thing right now in my life, specifically for healthcare. Personally, my goal in the next year is to help 1,500 Americans to get access to quality and affordable healthcare through HealthShare. Okay, that is my personal goal, and I'm going to work very hard to do that and to achieve that. So that's really the impact that I want to have. Simple.
And the help, how are you helping people with health sharing, with the products, the services? What's the direct impact to them?
They get to save money. That's the most important thing right now, is how do we help them to lower the cost of healthcare? Healthcare, I believe, is the number one or number two reason for bankruptcy, personal bankruptcy and business in the US. You know that. So
Absolutely true.
how we're helping people, and we're seeing this. Everyone who comes into the program is saving money on healthcare. So I always ask people, the question is, so if it's $100, if it's $400 a month, what can you do with that? Especially now we're heading towards a recession, right?
Mhm.
What is $300 extra a month? What is that going to give you? Are you going to be able to now put your children through an education that maybe you were waiting on? Is that going to put more food on the table? Are you going to
Mhm.
be able to save money for the vacation that you've been wanting to take? Or are you finally going to get to see your family that you haven't been able to in the last 3 years? So what is that 300, 200, $500 extra a month will give for you? So that's how we're helping people financially. Also, the access to, with health share, with impact health share, it's an open network. You actually have the choice of who do you want to go see as a practitioner, a doctor. So you're not binded or constrained to, this is who you want, who you need to see. It's free telehealth. I mean, we're so used to staying home now, right? So there's a lot of added value to this new. Really, it's not new because it's been around for decades, but new to most people now. Access to the system and saving money, and having the efficiencies and the value that we bring with that.
And I just want to go back again and reiterate the point. It's an open network. It actually isn't a provider network. You have access, the ability to go to any healthcare provider that you want to see. And I'm assuming that that means that you're working on a cash basis, because this isn't insurance, but that's what the health share funds are there to do.
Exactly. Exactly.
When you start to think about the future and the impact that health sharing can make, and that this approach can make for people, what are the big hopes? What are the big things that you see for the future?
As I said, we are heading towards the biggest decentralization in healthcare.
Mhm.
So there's literally going to be a revolution. Now, I always think of health share per se, right now in the US and through impact, um, a similar situation as we had with Uber, with
Mm,
Airbnb, with Facebook, with Netflix, right? I mean, Impact Healthshare is all about technology, by the way. So it is based on technology and an app and this algorithm that we have. So one of the biggest hurdles that I'm seeing right now is to educate people, right? Because it is like being at the forefront of the examples that I mentioned, right? If you think about it, just picture, people, or the first time you heard of Airbnb, what? Wait, I'm going to rent someone else's house, or I'm going to rent my house to strangers. Uber, I'm going to get in a car with a stranger and I'm going to provide them with my credit card over the phone. Crazy. It will never work, right? And see where that's at now. This is the future that I see for HealthShare, right? The more Americans embrace this concept, understand it, feel comfortable with, they are educated on it, the faster and the bigger change that we're going to see in healthcare. 100%.
So the opportunity is endless, right? So it's every citizen, every person could benefit from open access to better, more affordable quality care. And you've got you've got ACN behind it, which had the investment to be able to create the platform, the tools, the app, the bringing in telemedicine. So it really is adoption and becoming familiar with something that's new and different, and walking away from the psychological comfort that we have with traditional insurance plans, which we all know are outrageously expensive and actually provide us poorer quality care than if we were in an environment where we were truly working on a cash pay and negotiating and working with the providers directly.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's an approach that totally on purpose breaks everything as we know it for the betterment of the patients.
Yes.
How
imagine having having someone, okay, who's advocating for you, like really. And you think, in the US, Americans think, and I'm Canadian, right? So, we get free healthcare. So this is another reason why I'm so passionate about it, because I know how much better it could be. Yes, our system is not perfect, right? But imagine having someone advocating, someone within that space of healthcare, right? Advocating for you. And for many people, it's like, advocating, I mean, they just want to screw me, right? Excuse my language. That's all. Who's going to advocate? Well, Impact Healthcare, like, people are there to actually advocate for you. They negotiate on your behalf. I mean, we've had people that have said, wait a minute, I just got a bill for, this MRI or whatever, ultrasound that I did, and it gets to Impact, and Impact actually goes and negotiates on your behalf to bring that down. Because as a consumer, as a person, you can actually go and negotiate. But do you have a rate card? Americans don't know. Like, oh, I don't know if you're charging. They don't know. So now you have a whole organization advocating for you and helping you with that. Same with prescription drugs. It's exactly the same. They're advocating for you, which is wonderful.
Well, and again, as you're talking, the image in my mind is Alice in Wonderland going through the looking glass, because we really are turning what we're used to inside out, upside down, and backwards. Because today we have third-party payers who are negotiating on our behalf and making everything 3 times more expensive than it should be. And this is actually taking it and negotiating the value down to something that's reasonable and affordable and consumable for the participants in the health sharing platform.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. So you talked a little bit about adoption to the technology and just understanding this new opportunity as an obstacle. Are there any other obstacles in the US that you're seeing? I mean, there's going to be resistance from traditional third-party payers. Does that influence how you're bringing this to market?
Right. Not so much from third-party payers, to be honest with you. We don't see. I mean, you have your card, just like you would have any other card from your insurance company. You have your card through Impact Health Share, and you present it, and it's good. It's the same process. So I cannot speak to the resistance from third parties. to be
Okay.
honest with you. The hurdle does become with the consumer, with people in adopting this new idea, new technology, and to say, does it really work? What's the catch, right? How come I've never heard of this, right? When it's been around for decades. So that is really truly the hurdle. It's not with the third parties, because they have to accept it. They have to.
Absolutely. So, Shiri, when you look at what you've done and your journey as a whole, if you had to do it all over again, what would you change? What would you keep? What would you do differently?
I would do it faster. I would do everything faster, to be honest with you. And it's a bit of an oxymoron, because people who know me, they're like, faster. I mean, you're a bullet. I mean, you're always on the go. But I would maybe just do it faster, maybe more efficient, maybe not get caught in the little things. Understanding that there is a market, a person, an audience for specific things. Filtering people and things faster, right? Removing those obstacles faster, rather than be, everything to everyone. Again, which as a marketer is an oxymoron, but that's the one thing that I would change, to be honest with you. Just do things a little bit faster, better. Just removing obstacles that much faster, and being more aware of what I truly, truly love, what truly drives me, what are those passions, and combine those again sooner rather than later, because it is possible.
That's fabulous. Shiri, with my guests, I have a final question that I ask everybody. And it's a question that I use in my consulting practice to get my clients thinking big and beyond just what they do day in and day out. And it's the magic wand question. If I gave you a magic wand and removed all constraints, what one thing would you do to change, in this case, the healthcare industry?
Yes. It would have to, what I would do in an instant, provide free healthcare for everybody, every American. I mean, it's a magic wand. That's exactly what I would do right away. Healthcare should be a right, not a privilege. And just like education is a right, especially, for children, that's what I would do. I would provide free healthcare for everybody, everybody.
And that is a big wish. I love it. I absolutely love it. It would definitely be a distinct and disruptive change for our communities and our society to actually have access to what we probably need. Shiri, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with the audience today, introducing this idea of health sharing in the platform. If people wanted to get in touch with you, what's the easiest and fastest way for them to find you?
Thank you. LinkedIn, that's really where I live. So Shiri Gabriel, look me up. You can also email me at Shiri, SHIRIGAB, so ShiriGab@gmail.com. Thank you, Lisa.
Fantastic. It was wonderful having you here today. All of your links and everything will be in the comments and in the description, but some people just listen. So thanks for sharing that contact information. It was a great conversation. For everybody else who was with us listening today, thank you for joining us. We look forward to your feedback on the platforms.
You have just experienced Break Everything with Lisa L. Levy. Critical conversations on directed disruption that makes a difference.